Play the gambler. Come on, play the gambler. You've got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em.
We've been talking for a while about some stuff that it depends on like how personal we want to get.
Oh, let's get into the weeds. Why
I've
not?
just been, yeah, I don't know. That was a funny thing. That was always a weird thing in college. Was the people who would show up to rehearsals after like drunk.
Oh man,
I got to tell you, it was the thing. Like I for the most part was always bone sober at rehearsals because I just like was like I don't want to be the guy who they're like, what the fuck is the? Oh my god, have you been drinking? You know, like. I didn't want to be that guy, and I was always the kind of person who's like, it's fucking obvious. Even when that one dude who thinks he's being really slick at, down in the cafeteria, just fucking eyes glazed over, like half missing his mouth with the spoon. You're like, dude, it's 11:30. I know it's college. But like you could tell the people who were smashed. It wasn't super hard. Very, very rarely. Like those are the people you're like, that guy's going to be an accomplished alcoholic later in life because he's hiding it so well.
He's already drinking at a 37-year-old level.
Look at that guy. He's got a camel pack on in the lecture hall. Everybody knows it's wine. His lips are fucking stained.
What
it's
kind
ridiculous.
of water is purple?
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. What kind of blueberry juice you drinking there, bud? Come on. And so you would see that. It was always like, wow. There was one rehearsal for the Laramie Project of all things.
Explain to the people what the Laramie Project is for those who don't know.
It's really less of a play and more of like a chronicling of these people who went to learn more about the death of Matthew Shepard, who was a young gay gentleman who was murdered by two people and left hanging on a fence out in the middle of Laramie, Wyoming.
I think it was Wyoming.
I should know. I mean,
you did the show, motherfucker.
It's been a decade. It happened in Laramie. So these people went out and did this play about it to sort of discuss, and they went and interviewed a lot of people in the town. Everybody had these different things, a lot of monologues, that sort of thing. And I just remember there was a couple of instances where people just came to the show or came to the rehearsals pretty fucking drunk, so much to the point, and I was sitting there being like, this is going to come to a head. And we had that like meeting with the cast where he was not, our director was not happy. So shockingly so, where
one would imagine.
Where it was essentially like not naming names, but clearly everybody knew the two people that he was talking about, and they knew who they were being talked about. And it was essentially like if this happens again, you're out, but we may not even do the show. So it was like one of those things where it was like, we're putting pressure on the two of you, and let's make the rest of the cast kind of fucking hate you a little bit. And don't get me wrong, I've been in that position before.
It's a powerful motivator.
Well, I was in the position once where I was doing it was a student directed thing, and I've told the story where we all got to vote because the director was ill, and they brought in another director. And the argument was if anybody said no, they were going to just cancel the show. And me and one other person said no, and then he threw me under the bus like a genius. Oh, he's so good. I hated him at the time.
Keep your hands clean, man.
Oh, fucking brilliant bastard. So I've been on that end of things, you know what I mean? Where you're like, well, I'm the asshole. So I very much try to avoid that because it's not a good feeling in it, especially like in circles where you're like, I'm going to be working with these people for many years. And then they come back and go, hey, remember that show that I wanted to be in that you tanked? You're like, ha, delightful to see you too. Tip of the cap, madam.
If it makes you feel any better, I'm really taking a lot of L's in life right now.
Yeah.
I am not doing well.
If it makes you feel better, at least you have happiness elsewhere.
Meanwhile, me stepping on a lot of rakes over here.
I'm sad here and in other places. That's how this whole thing works. We all sound very happy on the podcast. I promise you, it's a tough time. This is what we call a facade and a lot of coffee. So it's always crazy. Again, waxing a little nostalgic the past couple episodes, but like, you ever have any time where people showed up at a show that you were doing, they were just like, you shouldn't be here?
Rehearsals or shows or both, I guess.
Ooh, because did I ever have a show? I mean, there were shows I didn't want to go to because I knew our tech crew was fucking terrible because they were like lacrosse players and like people working for that extra credit. Like you're still setting up on stage and the lights come up and you're supposed to be in a very specific tableau that you're not in. So you have to run across the stage and then get into that tableau and pretend like that's where the start of the show is. As an example.
Just to bail out some jock who's just trying to fuck the stage manager.
I hated that. And then later he calls you and your friend a homophobic slur on Church Street.
What, gay bay?
Oh, much worse. Much worse. College. What a fun time.
What a time to be
So,
alive.
yeah, shows or rehearsals. Again, I've never had like a scary show where I was like, I don't want to go out there. Since like high school where you knew it was going to be a fun kind of derailing.
I was never drunk in a college show.
Oh,
I was never drunk in a college show.
That's what a wonderful caveat that is.
I personally never got drunk at a college show. Know plenty of people who did for rehearsals. It was a more rare thing during shows, and it was often undetectable because at that point we were a bunch of people who were used to holding our liquor.
Yep.
So what would have, killed a 52-year-old man who had his gallbladder removed is being consumed to get one college student buzzed. So really, like, the drunkest anybody ever got was during the show Stop Kiss, and she did it because if she didn't, she was going to crash because she was so fucked up from the night before. She was trying to keep the hangover at bay.
Yeah.
So she just had to ride it into the next
Hair
day.
of the dog, as they say.
Oh, she fucked that whole dog. And I held the head.
I don't think that's the phrase.
I held the head. I kept her secret. She came to me and she's like,
caught me
full
off guard.
disclosure, dude, because it was a show where we had to like gracefully and tastefully move all the furniture. We were the stage crew.
Oh.
Because it was very like
Did I come see you in
artsy-fartsy.
Stop Kiss?
You were in San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
You did not see Stop Kiss.
Oh.
It was a great show, small cast.
Wait, that
we
was
had
the one
fun.
where the ladies kissed, right?
Oh, they sure did.
Damn it. You're right. That wasn't the one. I did not see that one.
That was the one where the ladies kissed. You literally missed that only one.
I came to every other show and they never did it again.
You just kept waiting
I
for
just
it.
kept waiting for the kiss to rehappen.
Oh, my goodness. Everybody in that cast ended up falling in love with each other in some combination of other.
The
it was
showmances.
Like it was a Shakespeare play.
I was never the guy. Like, I was always the person that everyone else gushed about their showmances to. And I was like, oh, that's so great.
Sounds fun for you.
It must be so much fun for it to happen.
So anyway, yeah, I had to help this girl
Probably messy, but go on.
who we were great friends, and she's like, full disclosure, dude, I'm fucked. We got to move all this furniture. And I was like, duh, I got your back. Just keep your hand on anything. I'll walk backwards. I'll guide you, I'll be your little tugboat.
Yeah.
Worked out great. So that was the drunkest anybody's been doing a show in college.
Well, how responsible, though? Just trying to keep the hangover. Don't want to throw up on the set pieces.
Well, people were always hungover for tech.
Oh.
For, what did they call it? Sits probe.
Oh yeah, being hungover for tech is different though because it's tech.
It's a rite of passage.
It's a fuckload of sitting around
Yeah.
for the actors anyways. If you're like hanging and stuff too, like again, it's not super important that you like not be hung.
Right.
You're just moving lights for the most part. So that's tech. Like
Tech is a different animal.
That was the same thing at St. Mike's. I know a lot of people are like, I'm gonna be so fucking hungover for tech, which is again a lot of sitting under lights, so they like bring sunglasses. Or something.
Yeah, dude. John Forbes did that to me once for The Good Woman of Setsuan. I was fucked.
Yeah.
So was my roommate Andy. So was our buddy Eleanor. And
did you have did your tech, like whatever you call your like designer or whatever, did they try to get you up early to do that shit?
we had to be there at 9 a.m.
Yeah, we were always there early the day out, like it'd be Sunday or Saturday, and we'd be like, come on, let's
We
just
had
start
to
at
be
11.
there 9 a.m. on a Sunday, the
yeah.
day after Halloween.
Yeah.
So Eleanor showed up because she slept over at our house. She had her fucking Fly Girl outfit on for tech.
Oh.
I'm so fucked up at one point that John Forbes comes over, sweet gentleman, and puts sunglasses on me. He just takes his aviators and puts them on me.
John, you're a godsend.
John, I love you more than my own father.
John Forbes is fantastic. I watched John Forbes yell at one of my fellow students when they really needed to get yelled at by someone. And it was so nice because everybody else was yelling at this person. Not to name names, I'm really good friends with this person. Not really good friends, but I'm friends with this person.
Okay, don't oversell it.
We don't send Christmas cards to one another, but like we have no problems with one another. But at the time, oh man, everybody was like sick of this person's shit. And John Forbes comes in to look at the job they did, and they hadn't done anything except like yell at everybody and try to delegate, and everything was crap. And he came in and was like, "You're in charge, though. You're supposed to be doing this stuff. If you can't lead people to doing these things, then what the fuck are you doing in this position?" And just like up and down. Oh, mwah.
Dude, he was such a legit guy because he was, for those of you out there who don't know him, which I would have to imagine is all of you, I mean this as a compliment. He looked like Mad Eye Moody.
I loved that.
He
man.
was like, he had like skin grafts and stuff because he got like lit on fire hanging lights and
Sure.
stuff.
He
was the
couldn't do it
gasoline
himself.
soaked cat who lives in the junkyard who can't die.
He was a raggedy looking dude who knew everything.
He was doing that shit in the 70s. He talked about working on the original production of Chorus Line where the light board as we know it was pioneered. He got to work on that shit.
Yeah.
So maybe that doesn't, you guys are like, that doesn't sound very exciting. Fuck you. Whatever you
crazy.
like, knitting, baking, suck my cock.
You think about the first bakers, pieces of shit.
Yeah, they didn't have to know shit. They just started smashing grain together.
Think about if you were like sitting there and the person was like, "Oh yeah, you know, I got to help and develop and work on the first blenders." Is that cool?
We're just being dickheads.
Is that
now.
cool for cooks? I don't know.
Because I know for a fact, friend of the pod, Ashley, tremendous cook listening to
I
this,
developed the
probably like,
first
"You pricks."
non-stick pan.
A lot of people who are very sick thank me.
A lot of people would have wanted to do the work that we did with the non-stick pan back in the 70s. Just me hanging out with Julie Childs. Like, we're just like, "What up, bitch?" And she's like, "You know, a piece of shit." And we laugh and give each other this special high five that we did. It was like our own little, you know, our own little special handshake. Yeah, she was cool.
I invented the non-stick pan, but not the non-flake pan.
Yeah.
So sorry to all of you who got asbestos poisoning
Yeah.
off of my pan.
I know what the conspiracy says online. It's not true. Don't listen to Big Pan. They're spreading lies. QAnon.
I'm trying to think.
Rehearsals.
One time for me, my friend made a bunch of firecrackers, which again for you squares are saltines with peanut butter on them that have decarboxylated weed sprinkled in so you can have a little edible treat.
Yep.
I totally forgot I had rehearsal. And my roommate was like, "Do you want to taste test one of these?" Yeah, sure. So take one, chill out. All of a sudden, I get a text. "Where are you?" Like, what do you mean? Where am I? We have rehearsal right now. We're actually being taken through the costuming, so we can all see what we're gonna wear. We had to have a costume parade. A costume parade.
I'll be honest. If it's gonna happen, that's the best situation. We're like,
but we did have to do a little rehearsing, and I'm like, this thing's a dud anyway. It's been like an hour. Fuck it. I'll drive up to campus because I'm late. Book it. Get there. The second I walk into the room, I'm fine going down the stairs in the dungeon.
Suddenly know.
The second I walked into the costuming room, it was like a switch got flipped. I was suddenly just like, in the garden to feed honey. Incense, peppermint.
Just really happy, moody, fucking.
Dude, I was
I'm having a great day, guys. Love me, say that you love me. Just running around like a dickhead.
Dude, I was cooked. So I had to stand in the back and hope no one noticed. Fucking the costume guy immediately was like, "We'll start with you." I'm Malvolio, so I now have to wear bright yellow tights and strut around for everybody. I split the ass of the pants because I put them on with I tried to push my foot through the crotch of the pants because they had a hole in them, and I just ripped the entire pant set in half.
I had a day where I like woke up and just was like hungover and fucked. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And so whenever I would have that situation, because this wasn't an isolated,
Sure.
I would literally just go to my director and go, "Hey, I'm having one of those like off day. I just don't feel right."
You pussy.
Well, I would tell him right up. I'd be honest with him. I'd be like, "If I fuck something up, I'm sorry. Like, I'm just like, that's what's going on. I'm telling you now. So like when I get up on stage and I'm like not in the right spot or like, I'm just."
No, if you were really honest, you'd go up and go, "I'm fucking hungover right now. I had a good ass time last night."
Yeah. No, I was being truthful. I don't feel well. I didn't explain. I don't have to explain why. They don't deserve that from me. I don't need to justify my sickness. Only merely explain that I do not feel well.
But then it becomes a lie because you're withholding
But, like,
details. Anyway,
well,
not to derail.
Well, no, I mean, like
You're a liar. It's fine.
During the importance of being earnest, I was going through all that stomach stuff that I had. Like, I woke up one day, like when I was 18. No, before I turned 18, like 17, right around the summer, just leading into college. I woke up and I didn't feel well, and it never went away. Like to this day, it's
That's awful, but the way you put that.
That's exactly like seriously. I woke up one day and my stomach didn't feel right, and it never went away. And a big part of college for me, at least my freshman and sophomore year, was being pushed through like a ton of different medication regimens, and it made me a fucking asshole. And I never wanted to eat, and I always felt like shit. But the one thing it made me do was just burp, disgusting fucking burps.
I remember that.
I would just, and it just would be like the most vile, disgusting fucking thing. Like, your body's not processing something right, man. And I'd be up on stage doing The Importance of Being Earnest, which is a lot of like getting in people's faces. And I'd be pretty good for the most part, except for the guy across from me, Kevin, who was playing Algernon. And I'd just be sitting there like, Bunbury, what's Bunbury? And like in between breaks, I'd like go to the bathroom to be sick. Like I'd be like, they'd be waiting 15 minutes because I'd be getting sick in the bathroom one way or another. Not too much detail, even though we usually do that. Shitting and vomiting.
Both ending.
I took the mystique out of it. But so I'd go and get sick, and then I'd run back and continue rehearsal. And so it must have been fucking miserable for him having to be close to me with my breath, just as I'm like going back and forth from being just awfully ill, and then just coming back on stage and just being like, but I don't understand, Algernon.
Why would you pop a mint, you asshole?
I didn't have the wherewithal to put mints in between.
You prick.
I washed my mouth out.
That's like a woman being like, I washed my vagina in the sink. I don't understand.
Fucking him. It wasn't like I was like bun bringing like a chunk of like a little vomit cube.
Undigested pork. Just
yeah. I tried as best I could, man. He would tell me, he's like, oh, it's fucking awful, dude. I was like, yeah, it must have been terrible for you to like have to deal with me in between my running to getting violently ill. Tell me more about how that made you feel. Oh, yeah, fucking damn you, Kevin. You ass. I love the guy to death. What a dick, though. I was like, fuck you, man.
Those are the best times.
I loved it.
When you have a friend who just does that one thing that makes you hate him.
Yeah.
It keeps it interesting.
Yeah. No, I just didn't. I don't know. It was a weird perspective.
Like my roommate who fucked everybody I ever had a crush on. That was great.
Yeah. But so the point being is I would go to my director and be like, I'm sorry if this is happening right now. I would fuck with my diet leading up to the show. Like I wouldn't eat and stuff so that I wouldn't have the So I wouldn't be on stage and being like, what's the importance of being earnest? Blah, you say? Like, because sometimes you'd fucking get it, man. Like, and it would just double you over. Like a good portion of college was me being like, what's going on this Saturday? Nothing for me. I'm going to have a tummy ache as I sit here watching Lost on my TV in my dorm room.
Lying on my side with a hot water bottle on my belly.
Seriously, be like, we're all going to parties. What are you doing? Nothing. Come on, dude, come have a beer. It'll settle your stomach. Narrator. It didn't.
Oh, my God, dude. That was tremendous.
The glory days.
Don't pass you by.
Yep.
Glory days. I got fucked up. I want to circle back to the times of being drunk in shows because I got some corkers.
You got more, so go ahead. I'm trying to think of mine, but mine, like, I was the one who was sitting there watching other people have fun.
Some of them were not fun, I assure you.
No, I know.
The one time I got really sick to like match your story, I got gastroenteritis doing Godspell.
Yeah.
Which I hated that show anyway, but it's like the thing at your school. You were expected to show up. Yeah. I could sing. They were doing a musical, which they only did every 2 or 3 years. My friends were I'm like, fuck it.
I blew off Godspell rehearsals or auditions. I didn't do it.
Yeah, well.
Blew that shit right off.
Or Closer Than Ever.
Yeah, no, I blew that one off too.
Yeah. Did they do Godspell?
They did
when you were there?
Godspell, but it was a student-directed main.
Oh,
it was like it was their senior sem kind of thing. I'm pretty sure.
That's even worse. Yeah,
I blew that shit right off.
Good.
It was too bad because I really liked the cast, and it was like my freshman year. I really should have done it because it would have been the kind of thing that like helped me become friends with a lot of these people. That didn't end up really happening till later in college, just because I like they'd be like, why didn't you come to the party? Like that was a conversation I had with Kevin, who I became friends with years later. He lived in Boston when we were living in Boston. And he's like, I don't understand why you like didn't come to more parties like your freshman year, man. It's like you like kind of alienated yourself. I was like, hey, Kevin, who invited me to those parties? What? I go, nobody. Nobody invited me to those parties. You could have just came, man. How would I have known where to go, Kevin? Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Anywhoozle, I'm glad we're friends now.
So glad everything's going so well for you, chum.
What's that? Married to someone you met in college? Isn't that weird?
I'm surprised that didn't happen to me with someone I met at a party.
Yep.
Oh,
Don't worry, it all worked itself out for like a year and a half of college, so I got that much.
I'm definitely not sitting here reminiscing about college on a podcast.
No, it wasn't all that bad, obviously. I had a lot of friends and fun times.
College was fun as shit.
Yeah.
The more concerning drinking during a show things that I've encountered came well after college.
Yeah, well, okay, hit me with those stories.
So
Hit me with one.
I'll cop to the time that I got drunk and not slobbering, stammering,
You
fall
piece
down
of
drunk.
shit.
It was a piece of shit move.
When was this? For what? Wait, let me guess. Beauty and the Beast.
No,
Fuck.
it was the show I did in Texas, Little Shop.
Oh, that was my second guess. It was either going to be that or something you did at Unadilla.
We'll come back to Unadilla on this line. Don't you worry, Rory.
Okay.
But yeah, no, and this is just like as a preface of sorts because it's not as interesting of a story. But I was doing Little Shop, and my little cast bestie that I had, she showed up one night and she just had a purse full of Deep Eddy nips. This was Austin. Everyone loved Deep Eddy.
Well, can I be honest? The nips thing part of it, I'm just like, gross.
It's portion control.
No, it's not. There's nothing. Nips are the thing that, like, when you were in New York or Boston, you would see the guy who, like, clearly has a problem with drinking buy, like, 12 of them because he can't afford the full bottle, but also wants some variety in his drinking. And he walks outside and he cracks 2 of them and puts them right down before he even gets out the fucking door. That's what reminds me of
That's what they're
nips.
there for.
It's that, or it was like you bust a pinata when the kid turns 21 in college and all those little nips pop out. Ooh, it's so fun. What's Mr. Boston? And everybody ends up hating the rest of their night.
That's what nips are there for. They're a power up. They're a little power up.
No.
Start the day off right. End it right.
In a place where you can't drink but still want to drink, consider nips. They hide conveniently in your pockets.
You just belt it really quick and say you were taking a hit off your inhaler.
Think about it, Todd. It makes perfect sense. Once you're done with the nip, but you throw it on the ground. It's this little plastic bottle that you could have thrown in the trash, but who knows it came from you?
Fuck that. You're drinking nips.
Yeah.
You're not a courteous person.
Who gives a fuck? Nips. Find them on every fucking floor at every creepy party you've ever been to.
And on every public bus.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
They were doing the trick. She just showed up and she's like, look what I got. It was a bunch of Deep Eddy. It was the vodka lemonades. And I'm like, wow, these don't even taste like liquor. These are going to go down. I'm going to take like 2.
It's amazing. They don't taste like liquor, but somehow they're still unpleasant. How did they do that?
It's so great. I can have the illusion of lemonade and all of the harmful impact of vodka.
Thanks, Eddies.
We just ripped those and did the show, and she had to like do actual dancing and shit, and she's just like half a step off and like walking into walls and stuff.
Yeah. Well, don't be wrong. I get it. It's like you're doing that like the biggest little theater in Texas.
I mean, you went to the show. You fucking saw that place.
I did. It was the kind of place where I was like, holy fuck, they would hire me to do stuff here.
This is like a slaughterhouse. Like they butcher pigs in here during the day and then throw drapes up.
It was the kind of place where I was like, this looks like you put risers and pulled a wall out of someone's old house. Like someone was in this.
Exactly what happened.
10 years ago, this was a living room. Now here's As You Like It.
Dude, it was in a strip mall. Mantis Massage was right next door.
Retrofitted. And don't get me wrong, they did a good job considering that. Having said that, the guy insisted upon himself a little bit where like before the show, he felt the need to like come out and address the audience and like do all that. Like, this is my theater. And you're like, great, man, just put the fucking show on, you know, like don't ask everybody for donations and we all just paid to get in here. Please.
More money than this experience is going to be worth.
Please don't do that. Nobody likes it when people do that.
I had a lot of fun doing it. I think anyone that had to come see it learned some things about themselves. What's your threshold for pain?
Yeah. Don't be wrong. I enjoyed the show. I thought there was some, the gentleman who played the doctor did a very good job. You mentioned it, Heath.
Yeah.
I thought he did
He's a good dude.
Job. And other people were okay.
Other people were in the show.
Yeah. Some other people were okay. You know, I'm always a fan of your singing. He played the plant. He was,
yeah, so I got to be drunk hanging out backstage, just chilling, singing soul music. Oh, I was, dude. I could not. I've done that role twice, once in Stowe, once in Austin. I'll never get to go for the hat trick.
No, why?
Because it's audio blackface. The whole time I had to be like this, baby.
I mean, yeah, you're right. It kind of is.
It's basically Medea.
Questionable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. If you don't feel after having done it twice already. If it's not,
I didn't get everything out of it that I wanted.
If it wasn't the right thing to do, I feel like this perhaps was the last time.
If I do get it the third time, I'm going hard in the paint, going way over the top.
Make sure they don't put your picture in the bill, the playbill.
I just get a picture of the guy that plays Bunk on The Wire and make that my head
straight Milli Vanilli-ing it. Just fucking. You can put an ad on Craigslist. Listen, I need to use somebody's face.
The problem with that is they always make you, if you're the plant, they make you play a fucking bum in the Skid Row song.
Kendall Allen Freeman the Jr. went to Juilliard for acting. He just make a whole fake profile.
Biographical details are just wild.
The grift that went on for 7 shows.
He was raised in an orphanage where he was savagely beaten every night, and his escape was musical theater. Until playing the music loud after hours resulted in more beatings.
10 years later, Rolling Stone article comes out. The best little shop singer you never knew was white.
You guys are never going to believe this, but he's not a handsome black guy.
I was just paying that guy and $30 a pop and a bottle of gin, man. That's all he needed.
Did you even go to the Sorbonne?
It all started to fall apart when someone met the man and realized he couldn't fucking sing at all.
He's also a CPA. Oh, fuck, dude. The most concerning drunk performance I ever was a part of? You were not in the show. Fuck, you were not in our
Are you talking
town.
about that old gentleman who used to drink the moonshine, who gave everybody unsolicited advice at the Unadilla Theater?
Well, you know exactly who I'm talking about.
I do know who you're talking about because he looked at me and went, I don't think Wint Selby would have that type of accent. And I realized, like, at the time I listened to him and now wish I could go back and just do it even heavier.
Hammer it.
Yeah, just crush it.
Say, guy, you just sound like one of the Canadians.
Yeah,
from
sound like
South
I
Park.
would have just done it different every single time.
You were 100% correct that in using a mid-Atlantic accent, that was sort of what the Yaleys did back then.
Yeah,
you were
it was-
fucking proto-prep.
Yeah, I thought it was exactly what it called for.
It was.
And then he told me not. And then the thing is,
This guy's never left West Danville.
I should
You
have
can't listen to
known
him.
that his advice came with a bottle of moonshine in his hand. Because he mason jarred moonshine, this guy, every fucking rehearsal.
Every
He would-
rehearsal, every show.
And I'm talking like, it wasn't like you'd see him with a fucking beer in the back or vodka or a drink. It was fucking moonshine in a mason jar every fucking time. And I tell you, I'm a little sweatier than he should have been.
He got the wheels wobbled a little bit on a lot of performances. When I did Our Town, he
Yeah.
got out and out drunk.
Yeah.
He was fucking piss wasted one night. There's a scene I was playing George, and he was my dad, and he's supposed to give me a heart-to-heart in the kitchen one night. And we're just sitting chilling, and he is. He just looks at me at one point, and he did exactly that. He just went, jeez.
Just didn't know his line.
He didn't know what to do.
Totally fucking lost it.
So I had to like do the entire scene. I'm like, Dad, I know what you're probably thinking and what you probably wish you could say
You're
right
just
now.
giving him the monologue. you just did his monologue.
Took all
part.
his lines.
Yeah.
I know. Don't get a girl pregnant or whatever the fucking scene was.
Yeah.
No
Which
sex
is
before
so
marriage.
good. There's nothing more fun than being on stage with people who suddenly recognize they can't improvise.
Oh, it's so good.
It's a lot of fun, especially when you don't give a shit.
We've talked about this before, but that time we were horribly unprofessional doing Our Wilderness.
We were
just
very unprofessional.
turned a 7-minute scene into a 25-minute catastrophe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't think it was that long, but it certainly was enough.
It's pretty long.
It was enough to get shouted at by one of our fellow actors who was on stage. And then there was the other guy who was on stage with us who just died.
He just had to be like water,
I don't
take
really
the
know-
shape of his container.
Yeah, I don't really know what his deal was. It wasn't like he was around our age, and he wasn't like chilling with us, and he wasn't like chilling with the other people our age. He was kind of like trying to hang out with the adults or something, and just
Yeah, and it wasn't for lack of trying. And like I had done another show with him. I don't remember what it was, and I think his name was Vinny, and I was like,
Yes.
he's a fine dude.
he seems like a really nice guy, but he also seems like that guy you knew who, when he turned 11, started wearing suits to school. Like,
No, he's a shit kicker. He's from like West Danville or something
it's
like that.
weird though, because he gives you that vibe, like he's like there trying to get the adults to take him seriously.
Because he was really smart, and I think he
Yeah.
felt alienated from people like us. But I'm like, we're smart too.
yeah, we just are sarcastic bastards.
Yeah,
at
we
the
just
same
don't
time.
do anything with it.
Because usually people aren't smart, so when we say stupid stuff, they take us at our face, and then we realize they're fun to make fun of.
And they accept us
Yeah,
because they think we have magical wisdom, but mostly we're just
or just being
making
dicks.
penis jokes.
Or they don't get it and they think we're stupid, and that's fine.
And they
I'm okay
hate
with
us
that.
and think we're condescending pricks.
I enjoy Moliere, so I'm fine with it.
Play Salieri.
I enjoy the distinction.
He was a good guy. He
He was a nice guy.
and not you introduced me to the Dead Kennedys.
Really?
Yeah.
How did I not introduce you to the Dead Kennedys before that? I was listening to California Uber Alice and fucking Police Truck for
he fucking burned me a CD with a bunch of songs.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really weird.
Police Truck, Too Drunk to Fuck, Holiday
Yeah.
in Cambodia, their cover of Viva Las Vegas. A couple other ones on there.
Yeah, there's a bunch of really good ones.
They fuck.
They're a good band. East Bay Ray kicks ass, baby.
That's right.
Yeah. Always room for more Jello. Except the only
Set
thing-
out for Biafra.
It always weirded me out. Like, there's always thing that just never saw, and I get why he did it, but those green, like, surgical gloves that he would wear, like, on stage times, and just, like, really, like, the off-putting movements, you like, touch his face and all these strange. I was just like, he knows what he's doing because he's trying to be uncomfortable, and it worked. I'm uncomfortable by, like, I'm uncomforted by this. And I, I get, like, it's weird because I get what he was doing, and I know why he was doing it, and I can still approve of it while still, like, for some reason being weird, like, kind of
Because
out by it a little.
it wasn't Gigi Allen. You know what I mean? Gigi Allen was like, I'm going to go primal and just like shit in my hand and eat it.
Yeah.
Which he literally did. And
Yes.
he's going to carve into his body. He wanted to pour a beer on his guitar and electrocute himself.
Yeah.
While he was playing.
Yeah, he wanted to kill himself on stage for his fans.
Yeah.
He just never made it there because he OD'd before that.
Did he?
I thought so.
I thought he got like a blood infection or something.
Really?
Should we look that
I
up?
could have sworn he died of an OD.
I mean, hey, man, if he
Gigi
did,
Allen.
no problem believing it.
Well, and again, a blood infection or something too would make sense because of the drugs that he was taking.
And the fact that he was rubbing shit into his open wounds.
Yeah, well, and the fact he'd be like, someone pooped out a hot dog, time to take a bite, like weird fucking crazy shit like that.
I'll do it. I'll fucking do it.
Yeah,
I'll
it's like,
bite the turd.
Which one of my fans wants to pee in my mouth on stage? And like, like crazy. Gigi Allen, man. The kind of guy who like wanted his grave to get eroded down by people pissing on it. Like kind of guy,
Yeah. Have they taken measures to prevent that at this
I don't
point?
know. Again, if you showed me a picture of Gigi Allen's gravestone and it was half eroded by piss, I would not be surprised, and I would also be like, he would want that.
He would want it smeared with blood and shit.
Yeah.
And
He'd be like,
use syringes
"You
jammed in the
fucking-"
ground like flowers.
Yeah, he would think of that as a half measure. Yeah.
So this is what it says on Wikipedia under his death heading.
Okay.
There's a picture of his grave.
Is it eroded?
No, this is when it seemed to be fresh-ish.
Okay.
Gigi Allen's last show was on June 27th, 1993, at a small club called The Gas Station, a punk venue located inside a former gas station at 194 East 2nd Street in Manhattan. In a first-hand account by Michael Bowling, the show ended after 3 songs when a melee broke out. So far, so
Sounds-
good. Par for the course for Gigi Allen.
Consistent.
Allen ended up outside, leading a group of fans through the neighborhood. That's never a good thing. Bowling continued his recount of the evening after the show. After walking the streets for almost an hour, Allen eventually went to Johnny Puke's apartment.
Good old Johnny
I don't know who
P.
the fuck that is. There, he and others continued to party and use drugs. Along with Johnny Puke, Allen ingested large amounts of heroin on which he overdosed and slipped into an unconscious state. There you go.
Yep.
Sometime in the early morning of June 28th, Allen died from the effects of his heroin overdose. Later that morning, Puke noticed that Allen still lay motionless in the same place where he'd left him and posed with Polaroids with the corpse before calling for an ambulance.
Also something Gigi Allen would have wanted.
Allen was pronounced dead at the scene. He was 2 months short of his 37th birthday.
Before you close that, I must know who Johnny Puke is. Is there a link to Johnny Puke?
Unfortunately, there is not, but
What?
let me
I must know who Johnny Puke is.
type in Johnny Puke.
Listen, if he's someone of note, like well enough to be like, listen, he was chilling with Johnny Puke. Oh, Johnny Puke. Like not just like with another artist or like with it like at someone's house. You know what I mean? It mentions him by name. So there's gotta be some kind. I hope that at least one of our listeners out there is like, how do you not know who Johnny Puke is?
Are we supposed to know who Johnny Puke is? There is nothing on him for the fucking internet.
Listeners, hit us up with the Gmail we don't have access to right now and tell us who Johnny Puke is.
Vocalist and founding member of punk band Cletus.
Okay.
Do you know Cletus?
Not of like a note of any of the name. The name sounds kind of familiar, but again, I bet you there's been more band names. Like there's probably been more than one band named Cletus. You know what I mean? It does sound like a very
Almost sounds like Wheatus.
yeah, a little bit. It sounds very not like general, but like it sounds kind of like a stereotypical alt kind of punk name. You know.
Yeah.
You're telling me like their hit is Red Shoe. I'd be like, that sounds like a fucking song.
Sure.
You know, like whatever.
Throbbing Foreskin, Smegma Force. Punk songs like that. That's like Gigi Allen stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what is that? An album name?
Pretty much.
Yeah, no, I don't know. That's heroin.
Smegma Icing. That'd be a good Gigi Allen
Heroin
song.
overdose of Johnny Pukes. You see, the funny thing is The reality of how fucked up the world is if you could find the Polaroids of Johnny Puke next to Gigi Allen, you could sell them for so much fucking money.
I'm not even trying to be an asshole, dude.
Yeah.
Selling something like that as an NFT.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like digitizing it and making it as an NFT. People would pay you.
Yeah.
They'd throw babies in the air.
Because people are vile, disgusting fucking people. Again, there was a story the other day about a dude who made an NFT of his naked, like his junk, and he sold it. I think it made like $500,000 fucking dollars, some stupid fucking thing like that.
God love them.
Again, just people do it. People again, I fucking hate NFTs because it's this utility that could be used in a really interesting way, and we're using it to make fucking crypto monkeys that are the ugliest fucking thing in the world, and they're selling for millions of dollars.
Oh, it's because they've been
rarefied,
marketed as exclusivity,
and they're being given away to celebrities sometimes, or celebrity like Snoop Dogg's coming out. Snoop Dogg's got like $2 million NFT collection, for fuck's sake. You know what I mean? For the most part, there's people using this shit to launder money, and there's people out there making nothing off of it. And for every fucking winner you hear about, there's like fucking 20,000 people throwing all of their money and losing, which is why that monkey's worth $1 million.
Yeah.
You know, I fucking hate the shit. It could be used for such interesting, you know, it could like all of this technology could be used for really interesting things. I'm not going to nerd out super hard here.
No.
Here's an interesting concept. You could use the blockchain to verify an education and give yourself a diploma proving your understanding of a concept without having to use an accredited collegiate system to do so. You could go ahead and somebody could come up with a standardized educational curriculum, right? And you can use the blockchain to not only prove that you sat and watched that information, but that you also took a test, which can then be verified that you took on the blockchain with your score. You know what I mean? You can do that all with this technology and make an NFT of your score and then link it to the blockchain. So if anyone goes, well, what did you get on that calculus test that you need to become this profession? And you can show it to them right there and go, I got an A-. I got a 90% based on this standardized curriculum that everybody uses to teach. Now, the question is, do we have a society that can teach itself? Are we a fucking civilization of autodidacts? I sincerely fucking doubt it.
I was going to say.
That's the fucking hang up. But it's an interesting concept. You know, it can be used to revolutionize voting and this issue of voter fraud. Like, in the idea that it can't be fucking hidden. It's all linked in there, verified from now until forever. So that 2050 blah, they can look back on that and go, how did people vote during this election? And it's still there, and it hasn't been changed.
And it's just been co-opted by a bunch of fucking riverboat casino captains.
Dude. And it's why I kind of geek out over fucking crypto a lot, because it's such an interesting fucking thing that is being used in the worst possible way by fucking douchebag bros who think they're going to fucking make $1 million.
I meant to ask you about that. Did you see what happened to OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr.?
No.
The football player? He took his year's salary with the Rams in Bitcoin.
Oh, at the worst possible time.
And it ended up with like percentages taken out for his agent and stuff like
Yeah.
that. He made $34,000.
Yeah, he got
at current
fucked because they gave it to him at a high point. They also proportioned it probably into an account where he thought he could spend it. Then he got taxed on it on the other end, which ends up being something like 40%. I love the people who are taking Bitcoin as a payment, but if you're doing it in America, you're short fucking sighted because our government's still trying to figure out how to regulate it, and they're passing taxes off of it like you're selling a fucking boat or something. Like, again, the fucking amount you pay on taxing is ludicrous, and you have to do all the paperwork yourself. So if you bought Bitcoin at $1 and you're selling at $60,000, you have to pay the difference in earned amount, and then you have to pay that 40%. You're getting taxed to shit. You think you're making $60,000 and you're really making like 35, right? And then it crashes, which it just did, which everybody who was paying attention to the nature of Bitcoin having, right, knew was going to happen.
So what'd you do? Did you just hold it?
I've always been holding it.
Yeah.
I've been holding since I bought it for $1.50. I don't care if the future goes like. The best way to be an investor long term is to not worry about any of that shit. It crashes. That's an awesome situation. I bought another $150 worth of Bitcoin when it hit like 35, like 35 to 31. I did tranched buying for a little bit. I threw some more money into it, and now that it's recovered, I turned $150 into like $300 in that account. But it doesn't matter to me either because I'm not selling for another 10 fucking years. My out is when Bitcoin, if it continues on the trend that it does, hopefully, will be somewhere, my investment will be worth somewhere around 6 figures. which will be nice, but it doesn't mean I'm not putting thousands of dollars into it over the course of the year as slowly investing into it. The kind of people out there who think they're going to put $100 into this shit and wake up the next day with $150K are deluding themselves. And that's only happening to people who started as a wicked early investor, which I guarantee you most people don't know how to get their hands on those coins, just like they would on an IPO stock that gets initially offered to certain investors with a certain amount of money because it's a large investment. They're not going ahead and getting nickeled and dime on people who are like, I'll buy $15 worth of that stock. Wake the fuck up, okay? You're not going to be that guy. Or you're going to be the guy who bought something when it was fucking worthless. And here we are 6 years later, and Facebook makes a fucking comment about that area, and a bunch of people come out, and you bought it for 3 cents, and now it's worth $2. And you got super lucky, right? And eventually the technology came to a head, or eventually became popular, and you got lucky, right?
And I know nothing about this, but from what you're saying, it kind of seems like these people are the suckers. The ones that think they can turn $100 into $100,000.
Yeah.
And they show up, and they're just the ones that get taken for a ride.
They're called bag holders, is what you're called. You're called the bag holder. And it's the people who see it's stock too. It's the people who bought into Tesla, right? You know, there's some people who bought into Tesla at like $1,000 a share being like, this thing's going to fucking moon, baby. And guess what? The fucking deal is out on Tesla now. It's starting to fucking drop. And people are losing everything to that. And the rational investor sits there and goes, Tesla's a company that puts out 500,000 cars a year when the leading competitor in that industry puts out 10 million, okay? And has, you know, arguably a larger overhead with 100,000 plus more employees than you have, but their output is that much greater. And the stock comparison in their market cap, as well as the amount of shares invested, is usually off by like maybe a couple 100,000, which is something to take note of, but you know, not like such a crazy thing where Tesla should be worth $1,000 and GM should be worth $15 a share or $150 a share.
Bro, I've never heard anything positive about owning and operating a Tesla. To wit, the new surgeon that's working at my dad's office drives a Tesla. First thing he told me about it was that it fucking died somewhere and he couldn't use the key to get back into the car. It's too below and the temperature's dropping. You need Wi-Fi to open it remotely.
Yeah.
He's not in an area with Wi-Fi. His car was so fucking smart that it locked him out on a fucking -2-degree night.
Yep.
In the middle of nowhere.
Well, and that's a big popular thing is these digital keys. Having a key to your car on your phone. Or now they're doing these things where they're giving people like this phone-looking thing that's just like an electronic key, right? And you put in a fucking number like a PIN, and it gives you access to all these features in your car. In fact, some car companies were banding about the idea that your key would also be a monthly service thing because of the services that came with it, and everyone told them to eat shit, so they eventually reversed that idea.
Yeah, I will buy a horse.
But they were seriously thinking about having the key service of your car also be a fucking lease service. Because it comes with all these features. Why wouldn't you want them? It gives you all this information about your car, and they got told to eat shit. But yeah, Teslas, dude. It's again, the thing that was super damning for me is like there's that, and then there's also their electric battery field, you know, that they have. That's a big part of their industry. It's like EV, but it's like $1 billion of their revenue compared to 10 billion of their revenue from their car, like the ratio there. So it's like really not a big part of their thing. So anyone who's talking to you be like, well, they're doing great things for the energy sector too. You kind of tell them to shut the fuck up. Like they're kind of doing some cool things, but like it's not this wide-reaching, amazing thing. Like especially when you compare it to their car sales versus other companies' car sales, and then argue that this is a smaller part of that same business. Like it doesn't follow well. But Elon Musk has been saying fucking Teslas are going to be driverless since like 2014. You can go back to him before he got hair plugs when he was like getting balding and shit. I had no idea that having $1 billion made your hair grow back. But
and yet there's Bezos.
Yeah,
really steering into the Lex Luthor aesthetic.
He's going more to like 2 months from now. He's like, I have stolen the moon.
How do I kill Superman?
Yeah, I've got kryptonite bullets and I'm coming for you.
He just shoots Henry Cavill.
Yeah. I got you and The Witcher, 2 for 1.
Enjoy dying slowly of radon poisoning.
Jeff Bezos started in book sales and he doesn't understand fiction. Oh my god!
Now he's hunting Hollywood actors.
Yeah. I just put down Spider-Man 1 and I'm heading for the second universe.
We never gave our review of Spider-Man Homecoming.
We should.
Or No Way Home.
We could. I just also want to say, put a pin. Jeff Bezos is definitely hunting people on an island. Go on.
No, I would have to agree.
That dude, if there's any billionaire out there, and there are billionaires out there hunting people, don't delude yourself, sheeple. Pull the wool off your eyes, off of them.
Put it over your eyes.
And
Take
then
the blue pill.
And then pull it off. But yeah, Jeff Bezos, of all the billionaires, definitely hunting people on a private island somewhere.
At this point, I mean, look at Epstein Island, Little St. James.
How do you look? All these celebrities
Might as well have been hunting people.
We watched all these famous celebrities. Like, living in my mansion during quarantine is like prison. What did the billionaires do?
When that Josh Gad guy cried on Instagram Live, I was like, dude,
douchebag.
you got to kill yourself now. There's no coming back from that. You just looked like a huge pussy to the entire world.
I spent 3.5 months in an apartment, more or less by myself. My roommate at the time, Jim, great roommate, friend of the pod. We saw each other maybe because again, COVID, it was a fear. And his girlfriend worked as a doctor. So I got it. You know what I mean? Every time we saw him, he's like, hey man, he squirts some antibacterial stuff into my hand. Oh, yeah, okay, this is the industrial stuff too. This came from my girlfriend. I'm like, right on, man. Good looking out. And we'd sit and chat about stuff. Because I got sick during this time, which is why eventually he felt comfortable coming and saying, hey, but I was sick for 3 weeks and I didn't go out, And then after that, I was still wary to go out because, again, it was this quarantine. I'm in New York City. I essentially spent 3 or 4 months in a shitty small apartment, which I still love, but a tiny fucking space alone, period. And so to watch these dudes with pools be like, I can't do it. I'm like, that broke me, motherfucker. I'm a different person on the other end of this shit. And
his personal masseuse is rubbing down a sea lion that he keeps in captivity in his home.
It'll be okay, Scoop. So
at least we've got each other.
Yeah.
Imagine all the people. Those fucking people too.
Meanwhile, I'm opening the shades to look at my neighbors out on their patio, on their computer, touching the glass with my hand, somewhere out there.
If I could live one day out there.
Yeah, And then a little share. If I could turn back time.
This isn't appropriate.
It still makes me feel sad.
70-year-old Korean guy just presses his tit up to the window and makes eye contact with you.
But it was weird, dude, because you would go up on the roof and look at all the other people on the roof just staring out. You'd be like, wow. Because before COVID, I'd go up there every now and then. Because it's a weird thing when you're not from the city to have that, just to be able to go out and kind of see over everything. It's kind of cool, especially at night.
It is cool.
And so there'd be nobody, because again, it was something they all were used to. And COVID hit, and you'd see a lot more people up on the roof. And I was like, this is weird. Everyone's trying to pretend we're all not up there. On the other roofs. Everyone's just trying to mind their own business. God bless New York. Even when we're all separated by roofs, we still don't want anything to do with one another.
But we need to be heard, so we're going to bang pots and pans.
Yeah. That one dude trying to learn guitar. Boom, doom, doom, doom. Stop. Clink. Clink. Nobody wants to hear Stairway.
No. Not from Stewart in 12D.
Yeah. It was the one nice thing about it was people were terrified of going into the local music store, which was just a Guitar Center. And right when the quarantine kind of lifted, I would go there to play their drum kits, and nobody in the fucking place. It was kind of shitty because everyone would be like, hey man, you need help looking for something? Looking for some cables? Looking for some things? For the love of God, please, we work on commission. And they'd have 3 or 4 people in the store and nobody in there. Like, I'm just going to go check out some drums. Thanks.
Okay, you're going to buy some though?
I'm thinking about it. It reminds me of this time back in Burlington when I was there at St. Mike. Me and a friend of the pod, Andy, who I was roommates with, would go to this place called Advanced Music in Burlington. It's kind of a joke now, but at the time it wasn't so bad. They had this one phenomenal drummer who was one of their salesmen, but he was also a fucking asshole. And you'd go in and be like, I just want to try this TD-20 Roland kit. So cool. Top of the line at the time. He'd be like, are you thinking about purchasing this? And you immediately the guilt hit you where you're like, oh God. Cause he was ready to put in the sales pitch and demo it for you and go the whole distance. I just wanted to sit there and try some stuff out and look at my dream DW rack-mounted Tom Bird's Eye Maple drum kit while I fucked around in this Roland for a second. And, it would make you feel like such an asshole And then you'd get really jealous because you'd watch this Karen walk in with her kid who like didn't know how to play, and he'd come over and demo the kit. Super nice. Yeah, I guess we'll get that one. How much? $2,200.
Whatever. I'm taking your dad for all he's worth.
Exactly. Whatever. Doesn't matter. And the kid's like, yeah.
Fuck my sister.
Yeah. And it was just like, oh man.
You got to get yourself a sugar mama. I think it's time, Rory. I think it's time.
I can do with varicose veins.
Fuck it. You follow the map to the honeypot.
There's got to be some rich ladies in Montpelier.
They're going to be rich hippies.
Coming to get away. Yeah, that might be a tough route.
Maybe that's too much bush.
I mean, I wandered through Manhattan all the time, but there was too much fresh meat, shall we say there. You're not worrying about old Rory in the city.
I also don't think we should be looking for sugar mamas in Vermont.
Yeah.
Because we're literally just going to get women who make their own maple
I need
syrup.
you to go out and chop some wood for me. Okay, mommy. That's so creepy.
Oh, God. Oh,
I'll go with mama.
no.
Okay, mama. That's nope, not better.
If you make it Spanish, you say mommy, like...
Not
there's
better.
at least... It's not better.
It's not any better.
I tried.
I don't know if I can get away with that either. Yes, dear. Nope, no. Now I'm resigned. Now I'm resigned to sadness. Yeah, I don't know how you get away. I guess you say the first name, give him a wink.
I guess. Like, whatever my queen
Whatever
Jolene.
you say.
Yeah.
Bernice. That sounds like...
You wink at her, she just drops face first in the soup.
Yeah. Should I stop this? Have I been written into the will yet? I don't
There's
know.
nothing in writing.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Get her out. Resuscitate her.
Oh my God, I've come all over these drapes a million times. No one's going to believe I didn't do this.
3 compressions on her chest and her ribs break. I can't help her. I don't know what to do.
She just collapses like the turkey in Christmas
How
Vacation.
am I supposed to intubate this?
Oh.
That's gross and depressing.
Turns into dust like a Skeksis.
That's what I get for being a sugar baby.
Sugar baby.
Yeah.
There's got to be a city where...
Sugar boy.
Sugar boy. Oh my God, dude.
I'm
going to start calling you that from now on.
No, please don't.
You ready to go to McDonald's, sugar boy?
Only if you're paying.
Jump in.
You can go in and start paying for stuff.
Come on, Barbie. Let's go party.
I don't have a lot of shame.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Well, it's like I saw a story on Vice once before or after they stopped like talking about partying and bullshit, but before they became over political.
Mm-hmm.
They did a story about this guy in New York who it was like a human piece about him where he was homeless, but he for the most part didn't have to worry about it because he got a different woman to take him home every night. So the guy was like, first off, it's a disgusting precedent because you know this dude's not getting tested. And they're literally watching him how he does it. We're like, walks over to a woman, and like they're just way the fuck away from him. And he's sitting there talking to you, and you just watch the whole progression. She sits there and he like says something, and she just kind of is like that, oh, stop kind of thing. And after a while, like she just warms right up to him, and he kisses her on the cheek. And then they walk off together, and you go, holy fuck, what the fuck was that?
Wow.
He met her on a park bench, and they left together. It's incredible. Who is this guy? And he would like go into a right at the beginning and like walk through like the leave-in shampoo stuff and like just find him. This one smells good. Puts him into his hand, put it in his hair, put it back, walk over to the deodorant, take the cap off one, open it up, put it on, put it back, and walk the fuck out of the store. And I was like, I'm horrified. And it also taught me I never take the front deodorant or the front shampoo. But this dude did that, so he smelled fine. He took showers at these ladies' houses. If they had washing machines, he would use them. It was cool with them. Had his backpack with his clothes. So he always smelled okay. He was always cleanly. He was always kind of taken care of. Had his fucking nail clippers, though, aren't too expensive.
Was he an attractive guy?
Yeah.
He was?
He was just an attractive guy. Didn't work. Homeless. Women were just taking him home.
He's the only real American.
He literally knew, too. He's like, eventually one day this won't work. He's like, I know it.
Well, don't get fat or lose an eye.
But there he is in his late 20s, early 30s, looking good. Just straight up, like sociopath levels of confidence.
Would be needed.
Incredible, dude.
That's a real riverboat casino captain right there.
Dude, it blew my fucking mind.
He doesn't give a fuck.
It blew my mind. I don't remember what the point of the story was, but wow.
Jealousy just brought this all bubbling back to the surface.
That's what I'm trying to say is like, don't put it past the homeless. You don't know how successful they are. Don't give them the dollar till you heard their story. No.
All I'm saying is you've got a blueprint for being a sugar baby now.
Yeah, great.
You've known all along what to do.
The point was saying is like, levels of success, you're born with that. You don't find that. You're born a sugar baby. You don't become a sugar baby.
You're born with sugar baby tendencies. It's whether or not you nurtured them.
I don't think I've got it in me.
It's the wolf you feed, right?
Everybody I've ever known who ended up nude on a porn site, I went, well, that makes sense.
Well, yeah.
You proved me wrong.
Damn.
Not that I'm shaming it either. There's no shame there.
No, fuck no. I've always said if I
I'm just
were
talking about the tendencies.
a hot girl or a hot guy, I would 100% have an OnlyFans.
I was like, yeah, well, that makes sense. They were really repressed.
Wow, this is a massive overcorrection.
Yeah,
I can swing $16 a month.
At least for 1 month.
I don't want to be the only one not doing it.
I mean,
It'd be rude.
I know how copy and paste works. I don't know. Who needs 2 months?
Watermark? Who gives a shit? I'm only going to be showing this to people in person.
New content? Fuck that. I'll be disgusted after 1 go.
I'll immediately cancel after the first post nut clarity.
You guys are fucking crazy. Top 1% OnlyFans, my ass. That's great.
We've done well for ourselves.
Who wants to see my butthole more than once? I don't get it, is what I'm saying.
That's the thing. Who wants to? Hey, I'm not knocking it.
It's the one
But who
situation.
wants to look at a butthole?
You
It's like a snake. Like at any
gotta put a
point,
lot
a
of work-
poop is coming out of that.
got to put a lot of work in to make like butts look nice. Butthole, the angle, the shot. You got to put a lot of work into that, man.
You don't know what it looks like unless you squat over a mirror consistently.
Yeah. It's one of those things like, it's that shot and the girl, she's wearing the thong. She's laying over. There's a little bit of butthole.
Just a tasteful peek.
Wow, what's that about? Okay. But like,
But
again,
what's the appeal? Like you're trying to find fractals in a butthole? Like that's all it is. It's
people
just,
are into, people are into
it's
shit.
literally a balloon knot.
It's a fetish thing. That's what it is. There's
Guess.
something for everybody.
That's fine, guys.
I'm
It's
more
fine.
confused the fact that people go to with the precedent to pay for things like OnlyFans. Look, I get it if you're like, I had a crush on this girl in high school. She never gave me the
No,
time
I
of
think
day.
that's way worse.
I think it's sad. I'm not saying it's not a sad thing, you know what I mean? But like, there's a girl you knew in high school. You had a huge crush on her. Gorgeous, really. And suddenly you realize she had an OnlyFans. And you wanted to find out what she looks like naked. She doesn't seem to care. So you go and find out. It's kind of sad. I understand the process of thought behind, like, I knew that person personally. I wonder what their boobs look like. That's what every 17-year-old kid in high school thought of 90% of every person they knew. Friends, not friends.
Cousins.
Great. Everybody's thinking about that one way or another. It doesn't even have to be a sexual thing. You're just thinking like, I wonder what that person looks like naked.
Well, yeah, it's like that Ron White bit.
And
like,
you're given, yeah, exactly.
It's some old biker lady. You want to say my titties? Yeah.
Sure, yeah, I do. And then she rolls them back up. Doesn't mean it was good.
I've talked to a friend of the pod,
wanted
Mitch,
to-
about this. The
Yeah.
internet is replete with naked breasts.
Yeah.
But Gina Grad,
Yeah.
who's a Corolla person. Now,
Yeah.
I'm the one that brings up Corolla on the pod. She's a Corolla person. She has ridiculously large breasts. And it's the ones you can't see that you want to.
Well, that's
like
what-
Salma Hayek.
Well, yeah, again, it's like there's the actresses. Come on, ladies, you know. Everyone wants to see Chris Hemsworth dong.
Come on.
If he was sitting there and you were like, whatever, you're Idris Elba, whoever it is.
Idris Elba and Chris Hemsworth,
You're
and they're
curious.
just like doing a little elephant walk.
Don't make me feel like a sexist. You want to know.
Come on.
But so the point I'm trying to make, though, is like, I get that rationale. Why somebody else wants to see my friend from high school who decided to have an OnlyFans account, like why they need to see hers of all people, I don't really kind of get. Especially when like the internet is replete with free boobs.
Yes, with fine breasts.
Again, it's like the kind of thing where it's like you go on one of these sites like Pornhub, and you know the ones, and you see someone's boobs, but then that person also has an OnlyFans. Like, why are people subscribing to that?
I think it's because you get other. I think
it's
people
personalized?
squeak away with like 1 or 2 screen grabs or a video. This has become horribly sorted.
I know, I love it, but it's just so funny. Like, what are they? Is it like you spend enough money and they're like talking to you by name, like you're special, and I miss talking to you.
They do copy paste combos.
That's so fucked up. It's such a fucked up precedent. Didn't we learn anything from Japan? These
I don't
people
think
are
Sims
so
care.
lonely.
They just want to simulate the. They know it's like wrestling. They know it's not real.
It's-
They're gonna watch it anyway.
It's so fucking depressing.
It's very sad.
So depressing.
Rory.
It's the same reason why I don't understand like like I get being so starved for like attention if you're one of those guys that like buying a hooker gives you some semblance of the human touch or something, but that like that still doesn't make sense to me personally. You know what I mean? The artificial nature of these things.
What's sad about it is not the act; it's the lead up to it, which is you were not able to organically meet someone that could fulfill your needs and give you the relationship that you want. So what you're doing isn't sad. The fact that you've been driven to it, I feel for you.
Yeah.
And I'm almost you. I'm almost you.
None of this has anything to say about sex work or the nature of OnlyFans. You know, do what you want, let your freak flag fly. I wish I was confident enough to put my pale, chalky, psoriasis-ridden skin all over the OnlyFans.
I've said it a million times. I wish there were a market for thick boys like there are for thick women.
It'd just be really concerning for me. Like I've been putting my butthole up there for like 3 weeks now, and I've just got the same 7 really creepy followers.
They send me so many messages.
Thanks again for complimenting on my butthole, Chet. It's really nice to know that I've got some support out in Boise, Iowa.
Now you're making me feel weird about it, dude.
Or Idaho. Boise, Idaho.
Boise, Idaho.
Yeah, sorry.
Did you say Idaho?
I said Iowa.
Oh.
It's all the same. It didn't fucking fly over states.
Yeah, fucking bullshit.
I don't know, man. I'll never get it. I'll never get spending money on that sort of thing.
No.
I've given that like, well, there's a line.
I got a bad case of the gotta see 'ems one time because one of the ASMR girls that I love was her OnlyFans, like the little symbol came up, like subscribe to my OnlyFans. I was like, I don't know, man. I got a bad case of the gotta see 'ems. I didn't end up doing it, but the mystery endures. It's like not knowing whether God is real or not. It's like I don't know.
You're out on like the balcony, just like staring out, like
smoking a cigarette.
Friend walks out. Did you have the dream again? Yeah.
They were bad this time.
I don't know. I just even that situation, like when they're bad, they're pretty good. If you want to see them with the mysteries there, I don't care.
And if you think we're creepy for engaging with these thoughts, remember that these people are voluntarily selling their wares.
You want to see my dong?
We're being polite.
Don't lie.
We took a poll. You guys want to.
I also don't get that, like the unsolicited dick pic thing, like that whole that's a whole other fucking topic.
Unsolicited.
Well, like not even solicited. You know what I mean? I don't know how you get to that. I mean, if a girl's like, "Send me your dog," I guess you got the green light. But if it's like, "How you doing?" and it gets into sexy talk, and then you're just like, elbow skin, like that's just gross. Fucking.
I think for some women, they're like, "Send me a dick pic" because it's like buying a car.
I want to see it.
They want to check it out.
I want to see how much room there.
Check it out before you take a ride.
Is this a Volkswagen Bug or a limo? What kind of style will I be riding in?
Is this going to get stuck in the tunnel or zip right through?
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I never thought of it that way.
Huh. Sex is like a car.
I just hope we get into the trend where it starts like, hey, send me your butthole.
You just smooch it out of the camera on your phone.
Wow. Yeah, you fogged the lens somehow.
Damn. You didn't even use your breath for that.
Didn't need to, baby. Come over and find out how I did it.
For only $17 a month. That's honestly what stopped me more than anything. I looked at...
the prices?
I was like, $17 a month. I'll only stick with this for 1 month, but that's still too much.
Fuck that.
Well, we're getting into the home stretch, but I wanted to see if you wanted to take a small journey with me.
Why? What do you got this
this won't
time?
be here next week.
Is this another ASMR thing?
Well, we can certainly make that a component of it. Some people like this sound.
Have any of our listeners complimented the ASMR stuff or said anything about it at all to you? I don't think anyone has to me. I don't know if they like it. At least good. They're doing it at the end so I can stop listening now.
Yeah, the tap out.
I got to give our viewers credit. The people who do listen have an amazingly high retention
rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, they see the thing is ASMR girls do this. They're called unboxing videos. Now, I thought unboxing meant taking off your underwear. I was very disappointed.
I was going to say, you got to put like your dong or butt by it in order for it to be the ASMR that I've seen on YouTube. Maybe the algorithms got me. I don't.
Yeah, man, the algorithm's like, "Hey, listen, have you ever seen anyone do ASMR in a bikini?"
You're like, "Hey, you sure do like these odd debates that are these moments where Jordan Peterson got owned or Ben Shapiro. How about this ASMR with this girl in a skimpy bikini? What are you doing, YouTube?
This is confusing.
Where did this come from? Well, you had a conversation in front of your phone where someone mentioned ASMR, so here you go. This is the top one.
You gotta clean your room, bucko.
And then
There it is. You gotta clean your room.
Jordan Peterson does ASMR.
Can you imagine? Okay. First thing you've got to do is clean your room.
If you have an addiction, go to a different country and get put in a coma.
Trans people aren't real.
All right, so let's get what do we got?
Graham Farms Maple, pure Vermont maple. We got a big ass box of maple products.
Okay.
Would you agree this is a big box?
It's a larger box than I thought, given that it's food that I realize now.
Yeah, and the way this office works, this will be gone tomorrow. So
Okay.
we better take our pounce now.
Okay, what do we got in there? Maple nips?
Oh my God. Insulin. Let's see. We've got a bag of maple pretzels.
I mean, those are going to be my jam. I'm already sold on that. Unless you got chocolate-covered
We
pretzels.
got more maple pretzels.
Are they? Okay. So they're just maple. They're not like chocolate-covered maple or anything?
Oh, the maple smell coming out of here. Maple mixed nuts.
Okay, wow.
Maple mixed nuts. Some maple filled donuts. Bing, 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 bing.
Those are
Maple
gonna be for
cream.
you?
Bing, 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 bing. Bing, 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 bing.
I'm not feeling the donut.
Yeah, you mind?
Yeah, fuck you. You got chocolates?
Maple sugar candies.
Ooh, okay. Nope. That's my ding, ding, ding. Those are what I want right there. The maple sugar candies.
Okay, I don't think any of these.
They're not even going to
only
see those
one
tomorrow.
of these have been opened.
Well, the maple sugar candy is getting opened by me. I'm sorry to tell you.
Let me read the card. So it's
Oh,
fine.
no, it's a gift. Oh, we're bad people. Stop it.
Oh, it's a New Year package from one of the other offices.
Oh, so it's not for anyone particularly. It's for the... Okay.
Happy New Year.
Fuck them then.
Ra-da-da-da-da.
Maybe it better smell like, I'm sorry about the diagnosis. Have some maple candies.
Do you want a maple candy?
Yeah, hook me up.
A maple sugar? I gotta open it.
I can't open it.
You can open it. You can open
Fuck,
it. Sorry.
Maybe I want to be included. That's the sound of me opening it.
The nuts are open. I think I'm gonna try a nut. Do some crinkles. Bag crinkles. That's a big one.
Oh, this has like a little piece of plastic. I'm going to have to get out my knife.
Get you a knife.
Swing!
I'll do some bag crinkle for him.
My favorite thing about most movies is how stupid they make the sound of anyone brandishing a sword or knife.
That and punches. Plet, plet, plet.
Yeah, and the swinging of the sword. Anybody know about that happening in real life? Because you are the person I want to hang out with. If you got realistic sword sounds when you fuck around with a sword, you are so fucking cool. I desperately want to be friends with you.
I think that was a cashew.
I cut myself. Oh, it's
almond.
deep.
Oh, no. He's bleeding a gusher all over the sugar.
Oh, gee. Oh, it's amazing. It's actually kind of clotting. Wow, that seems concerning.
You clot fast.
Oh, these aren't even like they're all just.
That's an almond.
Okay, so we got. It's just a big chunk of maple candy that. It's pretty hard. You gotta put it all in your mouth at once, so it's probably gonna be like one of those ones that kind of melts. Oh, it's a little too big to kind of put it.
Roll that around. Let him hear it. People like mouth sounds. I didn't say beard sounds, you cretin. Oh,
Yeah, we know.
I'm getting a text from my Dangerous Nights crew.
Oh, what's that?
It's Tyler and Tanner.
Oh, that's fun. Friend of the pod, Tyler. Friend of the pod, Tanner.
Interesting. Anyway, you sure you don't want a donut?
I mean,
Someone already cracked into the donuts. I'm not an asshole if I eat one.
You're an asshole if you eat any of those. They're for the office, and technically we're in an office. This maple candy is like just.
It smells boozy. You sure you don't want half of this?
Yeah,
You're positive?
I know.
Should I cut it in half with scissors?
Eat the fucking thing.
I don't know. It's a whole donut.
Oh, it's a whole donut. It's such a big thing. People eat 6 of those in the morning.
I know, dude. I don't want to be one of those people.
It's one
again.
then. You're not gonna be one of those people. Oh wow! Look at him go. You're so.
My day starts tomorrow. There's no maple in that bite. What the shit?
Well, I gotta tell you, these maple candies are not conducive to conversation.
I don't think either of these items are. I love that we just hate fuck our listeners by devolving into this.
They love it.
I want the maple.
Listen, there's like another 10 minutes in one of these people's commutes, and they just need us to go just a little more.
They're just got a boner. Keep eating.
Hold on.
Damn it. They buried the maple in this thing. This is a donut.
Oh, it's like a little dollop in the
Also,
middle?
whatever asshole opened these They're very stale.
Oh, he didn't close it properly.
Piece of shit didn't close them.
Oh, there we go.
You break through?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take one more bite
It
of
was a
this
little
trash.
creamy in the center. Maybe that's just the way it broke. Yep, that's the way it broke. It's like that kind of granular maple candy. Like, you know, I've got like those really hard ones that are like candy or candy than maple. They're like subtle.
Mm-hmm.
This is more maple than candy. And it's getting to that point where it's just like breaking down into a grain.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like super sugary. I mean, don't be wrong. Absolutely delicious. But also the size of it and the amount of time it took to eat makes it a little concerning.
Yeah. That's to encourage you to just have one.
Yeah.
Okay. I take it back. I think maybe the person that didn't put the lid on these isn't an asshole because it doesn't seem like the lid goes on very well.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe they also anticipate people like taking care of this and putting it in a cabinet. They don't know the people in this office.
No. These people are going to just... Here, put the candies underneath the donuts. If we come back next week and they're still here, I can have another. So, let's be honest. I know this office... Someone's going to take those maple candies, not tell anyone else about it, and bring them home.
100%. Where did all the pralines go?
Yep.
Should I put the half-eaten donut back in the box?
You're not going to eat the other half of the donut?
It's not very good, unfortunately.
Just, you got to at least bite the center so you get the most of the maple-y.
I did.
Yeah,
I did have a bite
You
of
got
it.
to take the rest of that little maple. That's what you got to do. Satisfy yourself at least with that. Is the maple
I'm
center,
a sugar baby.
Is it at least a good, like, is it like, you know?
It is. I can't say it's an inherently shitty donut, but it is stale.
Which is not good.
No.
Stale donuts suck.
because
Nobody
it
goes
was-
to Dunkin' Donuts and goes, oh, man, these are going to taste great tomorrow morning.
Time to make the donuts. Remember the rumor of somebody coming in the donut batter in the Dunkin' Donuts around here?
No, but
It was like an urban legend.
I know now. Listen, and I'm not spreading nonsense. The person who ended up being like one of the higher end managers at one of the restaurants I worked at growing up had been let go from the local Dunkin' Donuts because you got caught on tape banging one of the delivery guys in the back room on top of some of the equipment. So he came in and was
Rookie
like,
mistake.
I got your cream delivery for Dunkin' Donuts. And she was like, oh, you can just put that back here. And then the rest is history because we've all seen Zach and Mary make a porno.
And then she got the cream.
And but that's what happened. Banged it out. I guess she got caught doing it. They fired her. And the thing is like, she is now with this guy who I think they've been together for a long time. So I sit there and go, I think this might have happened during their tenure together. But you don't bring up that conversation because how do you broach the topic of that? Like, so I heard you got fired from the last place from banging a dude. So what are my chances?
What was that like?
So like, I noticed there's a lot of space upstairs and there's some storage area. I'm just saying, you know. Like,
Maybe we should go look for Halloween decorations.
oh, I'd have gotten fired.
I had a work situation like
the worst
that
thing ever.
when I was working at the Skimbo.
She was also mean though. Go on,
Yeah.
your story.
Well, I got hired at one of the local elementary school. I won't say which
I
one.
went to the same school.
Different one.
Oh.
The other one.
Oh,
When I was working at the other one.
Right, when you were working, cleaning out some stuff for their summer. You were working there for the summer.
Sure. Yeah. Being a bus detailer. But that's a story for another day. But I ended up getting that job because 3 people got fired.
Yes.
Because it was this guy, his best friend, and the best friend's stepdaughter. And this guy banged the stepdaughter while the stepfather basically kept watch and kept their secret. And they got caught banging in the home ec room. And now the accomplice to banging and the 2 bangees have all been fired. And I've got a summer job.
Ooh,
I'm going to be the first pirate.
that's like the story of every fucking porn that's happening now.
I sometimes wonder if the other piece of the puzzle was they were filming a porn.
Maybe.
They were on that step-sibling tip.
What are you doing? And then they went and did the whole fucking thing.
You're not supposed to be in here.
Ha ha ha! In the home ec library.
Let me teach you how to bake a pie.
Gross. That was it right there.
I've
That
been
was the
baking
line.
a pie since you got here.
That was the line. I don't know, man. That's some wild shit. It's just like, again, it's the kind of thing you don't expect to hear about. But then again, Vermont's a boring place.
That's our town.
It's always one of those things where, like, I grew up with such, like, not rose-tinted glass. Like, I had that naivety, you know, where I didn't realize that everybody I knew was banging around me until I grew up and a lot of the stories came out where they're like, yeah, dude, everybody was banging everybody. And I was like, oh, man. But yeah, it's kind of crazy when you look back and you hear all the stories of people like, oh, yeah, we were sleeping together. And I'm just like, I had no idea. And they go, yeah, because it wasn't you. And I go, that's fair.
Well, you know what? I cannot argue with that.
Yeah. But it's just surprising, you know? The kind of stuff, like, it's just all those weird stories you hear later on. You go, I never would have guessed that you were banging your stepdaughter in the home ec room.
See, there was a twist.
Isn't that way crazy the way life just sort of rounds out to that? Isn't that weird?
Life comes at you fast. So if I could give parting advice, it would be, don't bang your step-sibling in the home ec room.
Yeah.
You'll get fired.
But take your swing, America.
Wait till you get home to bang each
Yeah.
other.
Just,
It's better when you're trying to avoid your parents in the middle of the night.
And that way you won't lose your job.
Anyway, your parents will just be really creeped the fuck out at breakfast.
Yep.
They're not stupid. They know what you're doing.
It's okay. You're not
Helping
related by
her
blood.
build a computer, yeah. You're helping her build an inbred baby. Oh, wait, no, they're not related.
Nathan, go sit down. She doesn't need help with her cereal. Mornings are very awkward. Family
Yeah.
home.
A lot of eye contact and sucking on grapefruit. Boy.
Gross.
Yep. Well, do you have anything else you'd like to plug?
I don't think so. Not at the moment. Anybody, any fun friends doing any fun projects we should plug?
No.
Yeah. I don't think
We don't know interesting people.
And no one's ever asked us to, which we would.
Yeah.
All you had to do is ask.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Forget it.
No, you guys missed your shot. All the bands that we know, I don't think they're playing anything coming up.
Really great. Like, our friend's having a party. If everyone could show up at Thursday night at 9 to this
Following
location.
address.
Yeah.
That or Andy's just sitting there like, no, Laser
No.
Dad has a ton of shows, dude.
I mean, potentially.
What the fuck?
Always make sure to check Laser Dad.
It's true.
Good friend of the pod, Laser Dad.
Laserdad.com. Laserdad with a Z.
Yep.
I really hope that's it.
You can find him. Listen, there's not a lot of Laser Dad stuff. Like, you search Laser Dad, come up, and you're like, wow, it was really hard to find them. You're not using Google right, man. You got some, boomer-esque qualities. It's like, wow, that's a lot of porn.
Jesus.
The Laser Dads just gang banging their way across America. Fuck,
They changed the name of their band to Mature Naturals, and suddenly they get a bunch of hits.
We got 100,000 follows overnight.
We must be really good musicians, you guys.
Yeah,
They are.
always plugging them. You know,
Absolutely.
always go check them out. Check their site. See when they're playing. Good show. Good times. What's not to like about 90s music?
Yeah. As far as I know, they don't have any shows coming up. But again, I could be wrong. I
While
hope
you're at
they
it,
do.
check out Jessie Taylor Band.
Correct.
While I'm thinking of it, she's the singer of Laser Dad. She has her own projects. They do very well. So
Yes.
check them out as well.
And I think that's all I've got.
Yeah.
You have anything else?
No.
Let's moonwalk on out of this one. So thank you, everybody. And until next time, thank you. Go fuck yourselves and...